Hey guys, welcome to the Blue Deck Podcast. I am your host, Joseph Mazurek. The weather is changing a bit here in Florida, not quite as hot as it was last month, yet still beach weather. I went with the family to Talbot Island over the weekend. It was a beautiful day, the water was perfect, and I had a stranger lady totally freak out because she thought I was taking my kids too far from shore into dangerous riptides. She raised quite the fuss and even sent her poor boyfriend out to warn us. Now, that was interesting. Much ado about nothing, really. The water wasn't very deep and the undercurrent minimal. But as I told one of the other beachgoers, the ocean is a serious business, particularly with kids involved. If you visit Florida beaches or beaches anywhere, be sure to monitor the advisories. There at Talbot Island, they were flying yellow flags, so that means the danger from waves and undercurrent was moderate. Anyway, the trip was overdue and a lot of fun. In any case, you haven't tuned in to listen to me talk about beaches. You're here for the desert, more specifically, to find out about the moon folk. So, let's have our recap and get to it. Take it away, Layla.
In Chapter 16, Captain Kidd led Charles and his friends across the desert basin toward their encounter with the Kybees, also known as moonfolk. The Kybees crossed the desert riding dune buggies and motorcycles. When the two groups met on the road, Charles saw at least one of the desert people had a gun and another had machetes on his back. Will the encounter end in a fight? Let's find out together.
"17. The Moon Folk." The Kybee leader approached the front of the line, holding the scout's revolver. As she walked, she held the gun loosely, swinging it around her hips. That casual swing could become a draw with positively no warning. Captain Kidd, his head tilted to the right, regarded the armed girl. "Howdy, ma'am. Have you come from the great city?" Then I noticed he was wearing boots like the Marshals. Before, I'd only seen him barefoot or in a pair of worn-out loafers. So where had these come from? The Kybee girl grinned, her cheeks gathering into mounds beneath her eyes. She spoke with a ringing southern sway. "Hatsima," she half laughed. "Oh, you know we did. Left 2 weeks ago." She gestured to the captain with her pistol. "Now toss away your rifle before someone gets their feelings hurt." Behind her, another figure emerged from the off-roader Volkswagen. This time it was a boy my own age. He was stocky like the Kybee leader, with the same walnut complexion. But instead of a Minnie Mouse purse, he was wearing a Mickey Mouse hat with ears. He came up beside the girl. Maybe she was his big sister. They had similar features, although his were erupting with warts and sores. The Kybee girl put an arm around his shoulder, then looking to the captain, "Go now, be a good 'un and toss the gun away before someone gets hurt." "No, ma'am," Captain Kidd said, his pitch perfectly sensible. "I mean you no harm, but we are strangers in the desert. My companions and I will keep our weapons." The Kybee girl rolled her neck and shot an annoyed scowl at the machete scout. "Willie, take that boy's gun. If it gives you any trouble, cut his head off." As the scout reached over his shoulder, Captain Kidd dropped the barrel of his rifle hip level and fired. The bullet struck the ground between the scout's dusty biker boots, spraying his pant legs with gravel. His hand froze in its over-the-shoulder reach. he snarled, his long, animal-like jaw working up and down. The captain's tone changed not a single note, but was as smooth as ice cream on a summer day. "Don't move, or the next one will be in your eyeball." The Kybee girl released her brother's shoulder, her right hand still holding the pistol. Then she twirled the revolver on her finger. Flip, catch, flip, catch, and flipped it again, but this time when she caught the ivory grip, the barrel pointed at Captain Kidd. She smiled cruelly. "You best lay down your weapon or shoot, but I'm here to tell you, son, I've been shot before, and it only made me angry." The captain brought up the butt of his gun to his shoulder. He stared down the long sights at the girl. "We came here on the shuttle, through the blue door in the sand, and I brought bullets made special by a U.S. Marshal. If you and your henchies don't tell us what we need to know, and afterwards let us pass in peace, I'll kill you all and leave your bodies to the birds and lizards." I'd never heard a real person speak that way. It chilled my blood. The Kybee girl's half-moon smile flattened into a line. "You're a world hopper, like that other one, that girl." Captain Kidd took one step forward. "When did you see her?" "I don't know, maybe a week ago." Her fingers quivered on the pistol grip. The two motorcycle scouts moved, the long-faced boy reaching for the machetes on his back, the other one crouching down on all fours like an animal ready to attack. Behind them, the rest of the Kybees, all savage-looking kids or ragged teenagers, prepared for mortal combat. I saw one boy, no older than 7, take up a splintered board, the narrow end wrapped with tape and the other hammered through with a dozen bent nails. An older girl had a bow and arrow. Some of the others swung chains or held up wooden stakes as if they were spears. The Kybee leader looked around at her tribe of juvenile warriors, then waved for them to stand down. Some gnashed their teeth in protest, others looked relieved, but all obeyed. When they lowered their weapons, the leader stuck the borrowed gun in her belt and turned again to the captain. "Look, mister, we've no quarrel with such as you. We come out here to go wild." The captain glared at her. "I know you do." He shot a glance to the flag above her buggy. On it painted a happy-faced moon against a field of deep blue sky. He looked to her again. "Lady, we're in a hurry, and I've no patience for your kind. Do you understand me?" She nodded, looking guilty of some shameful crime. "What do you want from us? Tell us and be on your way." Dawn stepped beside her captain. "You saw a girl? Where was she headed?" The Kybee leader spoke in a hurry now, the false southern drawl gone from her voice. "Westerly, of course." She shoved the boy next to her with her hip. "I thought Billy boy would run away with her on account of the blue in her hair. He never did have sense with girls." Captain Kidd slung his rifle over his shoulder. "Any word from Atsuma?" The Mickey Mouse kid, the one the leader called Billy boy, was winking with a watery eye. "You're the boy captain, ain't you? Captain Kidd." When he spoke, the cracked skin of his cheeks wept fluid. Then I noticed he was sprouting a beard. "I am," the captain said. The boy's tone deepened into reverence. "You killed the Molly Snatcher." By the older girl's growing eyes, I could tell she also knew our captain, only she hadn't recognized him. The other Kybee seemed to know him too. The girl with the bow and arrows crossed herself and kissed her fingers, lifting them to the sky. The captain said, "I didn't kill it, only fought it." "To save the mermaid, Lady Osiris," the Kybee leader said. "Yes, ma'am." The captain stepped off the road, looking down the line of desert vehicles. "I'll pay you for one of your carts, any that can carry the 5 of us." The leader spat between her feet. "No need to pay. Consider it an offering to the 7. Then looking back across her trail of followers, she waved for a little kid no older than my brother. "Glover, unload your sand rail." "Yes'm!" The boy curtsied, then went to his work. With her little brother at her heels, the Kybee leader approached the captain and Dawn. "My name is Patricia Treese. I'm the leader of this outfit, and this is my brother." "Billy boy," the captain said. "Got it." Dawn addressed the Kybees, speaking with an authority that startled me. "I am Dawn of the world below." Then she introduced each of us. As she spoke our names, we stepped forward and bowed. After each name, she added, "of the world below." When the greetings finished, Patricia eyed the captain. "The king will want to see you, boy." She stepped closer, her hand still on the revolver tucked into her belt. And these others, too, they your knights? We are, so beware, Don warned. Her threat was as hollow as a balloon. She was unarmed, but somehow it felt real. The Kybee leader paused, nodded her understanding, then dropped her hand off her gun. Then she approached with caution, leaning forward to sniff at Don's hair. She spoke with genuine wonder. The world below is stranger than I thought. She lifted a hand to Don's face, touching her rosy cheek. Then the Kybee bowed and stepped away. "Wait," Don whispered. She took her house keys from her pocket, then worked them off the ring. I thought she'd give the Kybee a key, but she gave the ring instead. Then I understood. Dangling from the ring, encased in plastic, was a picture from The Little Mermaid. Ariel and the prince sat smiling at each other, and behind them the octopus witch loomed. The Kybee turned it over in her hand. "This is from Disney." "It is," Don said. Hesitantly, the strange girl ventured, "Do you know the Mickey Mouse? Or Minnie? Have you seen her?" Unlike Ozzy, Don managed a straight face. "I'm afraid not." The desert girl nodded, only a touch disappointed, then showed the key ring to her little brother, who was anxious to see it. "I'll add this to my collection," she said, and gave it to the boy to show the others. I thought of giving them another small treasure, my secret relic from the world below, a genuine Coca-Cola bottle cap complete with dent. But when I felt in my pocket, the cap was gone. Maybe I'd dropped it pulling out my Swiss Army knife. In any case, now it was missing, and that gave me an unreasonably nervous feeling deep inside my gut. Why should I care if I lost a bottle cap? It was garbage anyway. But I did care. Something about the cap was important, the way it felt in my fingers. Or maybe it was the color, bright red. So what? I didn't know why, but I remembered the way it seemed like a memory more than a physical object. Now I'd lost it. Patricia requested that we break bread with her and her friends before leaving. To this invitation, much to my surprise, the captain agreed. As the Kybee leader retrieved a picnic basket from her VW, her tribe set up a canopy. When they finished, Patricia invited me and my companions to sit in a shaded circle along with Billy Boy in his Mickey Mouse hat and one of the motorcycle scouts. The offer of bread breaking was only figurative because what we ate was meat. Patricia offered us jerky strips, some of it beef, some dried turkey, but most of it was venison. The venison was spicy, herbs seasoned the beef, and the turkey had almost no flavor, covering all the bases. The only thing missing was fish. I sat between William and the Kybee scout. The scout sat hunched, his long hair blocking most of his face. I could tell he was strong by the way he fed himself, gripping the jerky with his teeth and tearing it with quick pulls. The rusted skull studs on his armbands grinned at me as he ate. Then I noticed the bullets tucked into the loops of his gun belt and his empty hip holster dragging C-shapes into the sand. His revolver was still in Patricia's possession. He looked at me only once with narrow, brownish-orange eyes. I'd never seen eyes like his before. Altogether, he looked more normal than he acted, and he smelled like a dog. During the picnic, the Kybee leader seemed content to lay back on her side, propping herself on an elbow, as little Billy Boy told very unusual stories. As for Billy, he was nice to us, but his rash of warts and sores caused me to question the meat we were eating. I sniffed the food. The chunk of dark red beef in my hand smelled smoky and sweet. I'd already eaten a handful, and it tasted delicious. So I ate again, allowing myself to get lost in the boys' strange stories. All right, gang, that's the end of the chapter. Next time, we'll hear a bit of the Kybee boys' stories. How's that sound? Should be pretty interesting. Thank you for listening, and we'll be back next week.
Okay, now.